If you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open. They will soon be open in the chat, so you can place your bets on who you think will be our champion this week. Will it be our Terran or our Zerg? And finally, we get to cast a Zerg player tonight. We've cast like 6 TVPs in a row. 6 or 7 in a row, man. So many TVPs. Finally, we get to cast something different. Finally, Bobby. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Post Youth. We have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. Grand Finals is finally upon us. Again, shout out to Chicken Man, shout out to the other casters, of course, covering the upper semifinals, covering Silky versus Dark. We were unable to watch the road of Dark here leading into the finals, but we're here finally for our final series. It's going to be gases. I say gases. Going to be a 16 hatch opener. Going to be 16 hatch into the, 15 hatch into the 15 spawning pool, 15-15, I meant to say. And this we can just stay gasless with this. We can just stay gasless. We'll see when the gases are eventually taken. We'll see how greedy Dark wants to be on Post Youth. These are corners that you can cut on this map just because of the base layout, just because of how defendable the natural base is, the pocket base is. It's very similar to Gressfun in a way, where you could just cut corners and be hyper greedy on that map. Similarly here, as we are taking a bit of an earlier gas. Okay. Are going for a bit of an earlier gas. Meanwhile, back at home, ByuN going for a Rax Expand, not a 2 Rax Reaper build. Not this time. Not this time, back. So we are going to be calming things down and settling in. Now, with a 15-15 opener, it's in a way very safe, just because it allows us to defend against 2 Rax Reaper, which can be quite common on this map because of the rush distance by ground. Meanwhile, we usually delay our gas just so we can focus on mineral income, just to be able to recover that way and take a faster third base. Instead, Dark is going to be contained to 2 bases here, and we'll see what he does up to expand. Oh! Drone does barely morph into the Spore. Spore is morphed in. Queen keeping up, zoning away that Reaper. Reaper looking for another drone. He wants to come back in. Up! Goes for another dive. Doesn't quite catch a drone. Not yet. But so many of them getting low. But the Queens do defend. Again, with a 15-15 opener, you don't make any lings. No lings are made. We only rely on Queens to defend. That's to help recover for the later hatchery, so we can spend all of our larvae on workers. So this is an adjustment that you make here with this kind of opener, and it can be risky. A lesser player would have lost drones. A lesser player would have needed lings to defend. Dark did not. Again, purely Queens. As we fend off the Reaper, we do hold back across the map. ByuN going for a 3rd CC before Starport. Very economic build here out of ByuN. And Dark has yet to confirm. I mean, Dark at least knows it's not 2 Rax Reaper, but doesn't know if it's going to be a 2-1-1, a 1-1-1, or a fast 3rd. Dark still piecing it all together, going for his own 3rd hatchery. To be honest, Trigger should have died a lot earlier because of the skill difference. Yo, Amito. Why, Papi, you're clowning, Papi, you're clowning. Your biases have been showing all day today, Papi. What's going on? Jesus. As the Viking does rook up, does shut down the initial Overlord. Overlord scatter is going to be denied. ByuN going to be embracing 3cc into Banshee play, into Stim. Banshee's going to be moving out to Harass, followed by a Stim timing. Meanwhile, Dark's still just droning up, and yet to determine our tech of choice. There we go. It's going to be +1 melee. It's going to be double Eva Chamber into 1-1 into Ling Bane. not roaches. No roach plague here. Not out of Dark. Not this time. Not this time. As ByuN is taking his own third, landing it on location. Again, no major signs of aggression early on. We're just kind of easing our way towards the mid-game. Calming things down. Changes towards the natural. Queens are in position. Spores as well. So again, Dark playing it safe. Dark may not have scattered anything in the main base, but that's why he's not cutting corners. We have Spore in every single mineral line. Queens in position as well. Banshee does get one drone so far. And now ByuN has revealed his hand. And Dark is getting ready. He does... Oh my god. Quick Spore trick out of Dark. Calm down. Unfortunately, no mobile detection. Lair is still on the way. Clutch Transfuse, keeping the drones alive. Oh my, the Transfuse! Another drone goes down. But impressive control so far here by Dark. Minimizing losses. Hellions go for the dive. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're not quite ready. Big reaction out of Dark. We could have gone for the dive, but alas, ByuN doesn't risk it. He pulls away, and Dark is not punished. Remember, Dark has no lings, or he has very few lings to work with. So that was a moment there for ByuN. Didn't go for it. Dark defends. And now Dark is taking a fourth base and embracing Lingbane Hydra. Hydra Den is on the way. ByuN rotating around. As ByuN is just going to be rotating, keeping up, trying to contain his opponents. Likewise, Dark is getting a fifth base. The gold is on the way. Now, this gold is going to be difficult to hold on to just because of the map layout. We have a ramp right next to the gold base. There's so much high ground to make use of. And here comes ByuN. The goal to knock down the gold. To knock down the gold and to keep on pushing from there. So we do head in between the bases. Again, Hellions are in position. The Hellbat's morphing in. Tank does siege. Yeah, we stim on that hatchery, and it should be cancelled. There we go. The gold base is denied. Clearing up some creep. Almost catching a queen. Almost. So we do clear up a lot of creep here in between the bases. A lot of the creep is shut down. Dark behind this, still massing up more Lingbane. Oh, catching a queen! A bit of an overextension. Queen does fall. Dark playing it safe, waiting for his own bailing speed to kick in. Bailing speed not done. Dark retaking that expansion. The Bio army otherwise preoccupied, clearing up creep. Reinforcements not on the way, which means Dark will soon be able to collapse on this. Soon. Still building up. Dark has a pretty comparable army. Tanks are repositioning. Reinforcements are on the way. Double jump across the map. Another expansion has been spotted. The gold base is going to be denied. Dark, I'm sure he was looking for an opportunity like that to collapse on the tanks, but was distracted by the Banshee. Was distracted. ByuN still maintaining this. And Dark, he does finally move out. Hellbats, they get a lot of hits in, but the Banelings, they do crash in. They shut down the Hellbats. We collapse on top of the tank as well. And ByuN is going to get cleaned up. Yeah, the double drop wasn't quite reinforcing. Did go for a drop across the map. Is going to be shut down as well. And Dark holds. Dark does hold. Back at home, ByuN walling up. We have a nice tank setup here at the third. But the fourth base is exposed. And we do deny the fourth. ByuN gonna try and hold on here though. And again, we cannot hold on, not onto this position. We're too wide open, we're too spread out. Tanks are gonna be falling. We collapse on the Bio army. And Dark, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks through the defensive line. Gets on top of the final tank, and he's going for the mineral line. SCVs are going to be falling. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 1. GG. Dark does start off with a lead. Again, ByuN's initial push was quite successful, right? We denied the base, we were clearing up creep, but we did overstay our welcome. ByuN should have recognized that, of course, Dark was building up a massive army. And remember, ByuN was not reinforcing, he was keeping a lot of his supply back at home, a lot of his marines, a lot of his tanks. So alas, that army out on the map was looking weaker and weaker against the ensuing Zerg swarm of Dark. So ByuN did well initially, but again, did stick around a little bit too long and was caught out on the map. And with that, Dark does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. As a reminder, this is the best of 5, plenty of games ahead of us, plenty of games to come. And I want to believe we can get it back and forth. As a reminder, Dark did win last week in the grand finals against ByuN in the best of 5, but it still went the distance, it still went to game 4 at least. I do not expect a 3-0 in either direction. Do not expect a one-sided series. And this is a good map to bounce back on. We're going to be loading in to Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Talon Esports. Leading the series 1-0, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Down in this series, looking to bounce back, it is ByuN. Go. Once again, no 2x Reaper opener here. Interesting. I'm sure we're going to be seeing it at some point in this series, but both in game 1 and in game 2, we have avoided it. Meanwhile, Dark going for a hatch first. This time going hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Dark. As a reminder, last game we went 15-15, and ByuN is going CC first. Okay. This I was not expecting here out of ByuN. I was not quite expecting such a greedy build here from our Terran player. I mean, this shouldn't really be punished. It can be punished by like an early pool timing and early gases, but that's not what we're seeing here out of Dark. As ByuN is going CC first into expand. Usually you see this kind of build on a map like Post Youth or Alkione. Alkione, we see this a lot. Side Delta as well. But here on Oceanborn, bold move. Bold move here by ByuN. Not often seen, which is, you know, why it would work. ByuN should be able to get away with it. Should be able to get with the, again, more greedy opener here. Following it up with a 2-1-1. Okay. Papi, he's cooking. ByuN embracing that second Rax. With this, yeah, we're skipping. Okay, so when it comes to the greed, it isn't just CC first. It's CC first into 2-1-1. No SCV Scout. No SCV Scout. No Reaper Scout either. Dark is known for Roach aggression. If Dark had gone for an early pull into an early Roach Warren, into a Roach push, ByuN would be dead. Like, ByuN would just straight up, like, it would be over. But Dark is going for a standard build, which means ByuN gets away with this. The Overlord does confirm, does get eyes on the morphing in orbital, so he's fully aware that it was a CC first. Dark is aware of the greed, but now we have to confirm the follow-up. Is this going to be a 1-1-1? Is it going to be 3 CC? Like, is ByuN going to be even greedier? Like, what is ByuN up to? Dark needs to figure it out. Meanwhile, reactor is done. Tech lab on the way. Ling does confirm both Raxes, so we're fully aware of the potential 2-1-1. Technically, it could be like 3cc 2-1-1, or it could be a 4Rax. It's not uncommon for ByuN to embrace 4Raxes. Regardless, we're aware of the bio-heavy composition. Dark is getting ready back at home. Again, with this kind of setup, we shouldn't have any Hellions, so Dark can be greedy and drone. He can drone up that much harder. Dark can cut corners. The reactor's on the way in the factory. This should lead into an add-on swap. This should lead into a 16 Marine sim timing with 2 medevacs. We are working towards that. Again, 2-1-1. Bearing in mind also, no third CC. No third CC yet out of ByuN. So it was a greedy opener leading into a very aggressive follow-up. And we'll see when and if that third base gets thrown down. We shall see. As ByuN is amassing his Marines, getting ready for that eventual move out. Medevacs are on the way. Meanwhile, Dark this entire time has been droning. I mean, that's what we should be doing. We should just be droning on up. We have our first EVA chamber on the way. This should be for +1 carapace. This will eventually lead into a lair and banelings. But for now, carapace is kind of the correct option to go for. When it comes to the quote-unquote like response here to 2-1-1s, it usually is a single EVA chamber straight into +1 carapace, as it is the most valuable upgrade against Bio. And the move out is spotted. This carapace is on the way, and we have to mass up queens and now lings. Now we start ling production as the drop moves out. And the lings should arrive just in time. It's going to be close though. Stark is getting in position. Army is spotted. A lot of creep to work with. As ByuN is looking for a way in. Third CC is on the way, so ByuN is not going for a 2-base all-in. He's expanding, but a much later expansion, and I mean, typically that means that this drop needs to get some damage done. And so far, we haven't really gotten much. We have forced a reaction out of Dark. Like, Dark has been massing lings the entire time. Lair is on the way, Bailey Nest as well. But ByuN hasn't committed to anything. We'll get an Overlord. Overlord goes down. At least the one. One Overlord does fall. ByuN pulling back. As ByuN moves back, now we finally take a 4th base. Now Dark does expand. And the question becomes, can ByuN hold on to his 3rd? Because ByuN just forced a lot of Ling Bane. He forced out a massive army here out of Dark. I'm sure Dark wants to make use of it. Sure he does. So far, Medevacs forced to pick up. Queens, likewise, keeping up with the rotations. Forcing back the drops. More lings are amassing. Dark has not taken his gases, and he has not drawn up his 4th base yet, or he's not made any workers in quite some time. Dark has been stuck at 55 workers for a couple of minutes now. Okay, now he's journeying. There we go. Now Dark is taking his gases here at the 3rd base. Hydroden's on the way. Additional upgrades. Dark is embracing a longer game. But it does mean that Dark's droning has been delayed. And ByuN is now moving out. We can make use of the lings. Catching out some Marines. We'll drop into the natural. Likewise, ByuN being active here on the right-hand side at the 4th. So far, Dark is keeping up. And we have been able to drone up to 4-base saturation. Okay, we have a pretty healthy worker count now. 4-base saturation here for Dark. Meanwhile, 2-1 upgrades. Hydra upgrades as well. It's going to be Ling Bane Hydra. Dark is keeping up, and ByuN is working towards a 4 CC. So once again, ByuN is not going for like a 8-rack 3-base all-in or anything like that. ByuN is building up towards a longer game. We can settle in. We can settle in. These drops more than anything, they're just buying time. They're just keeping the Ling Bane busy of Dark, keeping it pinned while ByuN expands. There it is, 4 CCs on the way. If it wasn't for these drops, then Dark would be across the map and he'd be applying pressure to the 4th. So again, very important here that ByuN is as active as he is. Even catching a queen! Ooh, just barely not. Clutch transfuse. The Queens will barely survive. But if it takes a lot of hits. ByuN turtling up. Walling off with some SimCity, sensor towers, tanks as well. But Dark is maxed. Dark is maxed out, and his goal is to knock down the fourth. The fourth base is going to be in the sights here of Dark. As I say that, these drops are still keeping back some supply. Hive is on the way. Lurker Gen as well. Should be working towards Lurker upgrades and Vipers. Drop does come in. There is an opening. But the Medivacs under fire. No! Medivacs are going to go down. We shut down the drops, and that means that there is nothing keeping Dark pinned. Nothing keeping him back. Now we can focus on his push. Dark can move out. For now, double expanding. Expanding, knocking down rocks. Dark does not go for the fourth, which means the planetary is done, and it's going to get up and running. So it looks like Dark, his choice here, his approach might just be deny the fifth. Deny the fifth base over and over again. As he gets eyes on the right-hand side. Knocking down all these rocks. Working on upgrades, taking up in towards Lurkers. Nidusworm is on the way. Dark embracing a longer game. Here comes that Nidusworm. Dark even taking one of ByuN's bases. Oh my god. He's crazy. Very ambitious here from Dark. We'll see if we can actually mine from it. I believe we'll be able to take it, but see if we can take minerals away from ByuN as all the rocks have been knocked down on the map. We do have a double drop here, but that's what the Vipers are for. As 2 Vipers have arrived, they're gathering up energy as we speak, and they can go for power bombs. They can go for those parasitic bombs. Meanwhile, this entire time, ByuN has been just turtling up. We mentioned it briefly before, but ByuN has been walling up with tanks, with CCs, with planetaries. He'll be expanding, taking the right-hand fifth. But this fifth base is going to be quite exposed. And Dark should be collapsing on it once we deal with the drop play. Here come the Vipers. Here come the Parabombs. Oh, even the yoinks! Even better. Oh, we only get the one medevac so far. Oh, barely getting the second medevac as well. Does cost us a lot of energy there. A lot of abductions. Well, we shut the medevacs down. Fifth base is spotted, and again, it's on Dark to make sure this fifth base does not get saturated as freely as we would like. That's a lot of banelings. That's 64 banelings on the way. Oh my god, that's a lot of banelings here for Dark. Now the question is, do we knock down the fifth or do we go for the fourth? That's 2 planetaries. That's a lot of planetaries here at the fourth base. Planetaries are on the way here for ByuN at the fifth, but they're not done yet, so this area is looking a little bit more vulnerable, but the tank line is insane. Without a good amount of Vipers, I don't see us breaking this position. So yeah, instead we're going towards the south. Blinding Clouds, they cover the tanks. As the ghosts are not here, we're going for the planetaries. One of them goes down, second of them goes down as well. We bring down 2 bases, but there is another CC, so we can just re-expand immediately. Dark has to pull back. Up! Catches some Marines. Dark has to pull back, gonna be remaxing with Lurkers. Okay. Getting into Lunkers. ByuN pulls over towards the left, which means the base on the right-hand side. Now it's exposed. Now only tanks to defend. So we can see the army rotate over. We'll see what Dark goes for. Consolidating his forces. Do we go for the left or the right? We should go for one. It looks like we're going for the right-hand side. Again, no. We have some ghosts. Like ByuN, he has pre-split his army. Now he is pre-split. Has some decent defenses. There's only 1 Viper left. And the Lurkers are gaining ground. One lurker does fall. At the same time, Lings, they do hit the south. Yeah, they collapse here on the tanks. They go for the planetary. CC should barely survive. I say that it's going to go down. Oh my god, the cracklings are cracked. We bring down the base. Lurkers pull back. That's a kill on the planetary. I think that's all we need to do. Just deny the expansion time and time again. And make sure that ByuN does not get fully saturated on 5 bases. Make sure he does not get comfortable. Lurker's getting in position. We collapse once again towards the south. Another tank goes down. Ooh, and there's just not much here. There's not much left. We're diving on the tanks one after the other. And this position looking weaker and weaker. ByuN has to respond. Does rotate. Collapsing on those turrets. These turrets are going down, which means we can burrow. Things do burrow, and I'm curious how we have not spotted it. Or have we? Going for the Overseer. Overseer gets sniped. We have not been saturating this southern base. Unfortunately, I would love to see saturation here on these fringe bases. It's not happening. Another 66 Banelings on the way. And what's next? This planetary. The now 4th base of ByuN is going to be under fire. Catching out the Medivacs. Medivacs going down. We're going for the base. We're going for the planetary. And there's no stopping it. There's no saving it. The base goes down. Nidus into the main as well. And Dark, he's just pulling ByuN apart to the 4th, to the 5th. Back and forth, time and time again. Bases are falling left and right. As the Nidus Swarm does finish. Oh, but it looks like we're in position. Lurkers are going to be denied. And the Lurkers are punished. But as we punish one base, we're going for the other. Once we punish the Lurkers, we're going for another base. Getting 2 tanks. Not the best trade here from Dark. He lost a lot of those Banelings. Lings flooding in. Closing the distance just barely. Getting 3 tanks. Minerals for gas. We trade minerals for gas here. Worth it for Dark. Now Dark is burning through his gas bank, which is a little bit concerning. We do need extra gases. Looking at our saturation is decent, but ooh, we're missing saturation at this gas geyser here and the gas geyser towards the north. So Dark is on a low gas bank. Hopefully he does notice soon, because we do have to make sure we maintain ourselves. Viper's gathering energy. ByuN, he has a bit of a moment of reprieve. ByuN is able to stabilize for a moment, but only for a moment. As once again, Dark, he's pushing forward. Tanks are going down. Lurker shots going off. One more tank falls. That was 6 tanks going down. For 2 Lurkers and mainly Ling. But the bases are getting back up. Bases are getting back up, but ByuN is getting back into saturation. Dark is already remaxed. With Swarm Hosts, interesting. I kind of like this. So Swarm Hosts are very efficient units. They can be very efficient, and they can allow you to actually accrue a bank over time. Just gather up a bank here over time, and because ByuN is stuck on these 4 bases, because we're contained, these Swarm Hosts, they can break through these siege lines. They can get on top of these tanks and snowball out of control. I'm sure that ByuN is not thinking of Swarm Hosts right now. He's not going to be ready for this. Because our ghosts are towards the south, I would love to see Swarm Hosts here towards the north instead. These tanks are very vulnerable. As we do scan, here comes a Lucas Wave. Important scan though. Does give ByuN a bit of a heads up. We get 2 tanks, getting a 3rd. Yeah, 3rd tank barely goes down. Going for the mineral line. But 3 tanks so far, good trade for Dark. Bringing down the tanks, power bomb here in the Metamax. Base is under fire. Again, we never really mined from this base, unfortunately, so this is potentially a new base for ByuN. If he can break out. It's going to be a big if, though. So here comes another Nida Swarm. Swarm hosts are moving out towards the north once again. The scan does reveal the Swarm host. But we're going for the tanks. We're going for the planetary even. This I'm not so sure about. We will get it though. Planetary goes down. Nothing else. Again, not the best trade from Dark, and ByuN is maxing out. ByuN now is on 5 bases. He has been able to hold on to his bases here for quite some time. ByuN is maxed, and ByuN is in this. Dark was doing well up until now. The goal for Dark was to knock down these CCs one after the other, but he hasn't been able to. Now Dark is in a bit of trouble. He's in a bit of trouble here. As I say that, Ling Bane going right through the center, just Lings even. Going for the mineral lines, busting into the natural. Chaos does ensue. Even catching a tank. Reinforcing tank does go down. We get 13 SCVs. Very nice run by. Locust Wave once again coming in. We are in position though. Are we going for the ghosts? We're not going to get them. Just Marines and Marauders. The ghosts do hold on. ByuN bleeds out SCVs, but again, he still has a massive army. ByuN is super maxed. So even though Dark has been trading well, ByuN can break out and go for essentially an all-in. Nice into the main. Has potential. ByuN will bring it down. Thankfully it does fall. Another Locust Wave collapses on the Bio Army. Once again, trading with mainly Marines, not getting a single tank. I'm waiting for the Locust Wave towards the south instead. Like, these tanks are so naked. But I do worry here for Dark. I mean, he has a bank, so Dark can obviously remax. He can remax with a more high-tech army once the Swarmers go down. True. Can remax and head into Broodlords, for example. Broodlord Infestor. Scan reveals the Swarm Host. Once again, another Locust Wave. ByuN is now building up a bank. Lings are flooding in. Trying to at least. We do collapse on top of one tank. It's just the one tank goes down. Not even a tank. Drop here on the right hand side. Workers are trying to keep up. Ooh, this is actually expensive. We're losing 3 ghosts. Let's go down. Ooh, likewise the counter snipes on the Vipers. Vipers do fall. ByuN gaining ground, and he may take another expansion. He is going for the CC, and this is brutal. Dark, he had so much control earlier, but alas, not anymore. There we go. Does get 2 more tanks. Not bad. The best pickups we've seen in a while here from these Swarm Hosts. Oh, the tanks are exposed. We come in from behind. Tanks are going down. Yeah, ByuN are getting caught off guard. Force a pick up, and we do finally collapse into a mineral line. 26 SCVs go down. And finally, we do break the CC. Took Dark a while, but he does bring it down. At the same time, ByuN taking a new expansion, but it's so exposed, and I'm not so sure if ByuN can actually hold on to this base. We'll see if he can, as he has to pull back. ByuN is pulling back, and you know what ByuN has? No bank. ByuN, he's running out of money, he's running out of resources. He needs this CC to get up and running. Without it, ByuN is just, yeah, he's just running out of steam. He's running out of units, running out of minerals, running out of supply. It's been a battle of attrition here so far. And these swarm hosts have been, you know, slowly getting value over time. We've been backing up, of course, gathering more resources. We deny a CC. Dark has been trading well enough. Well enough. Nidus Swarm on the way. ByuN peeling off some units, but we have spine crawlers. We will clean this up. And Dark is just sending it right down mid. Once again, right to the natural. Not that it's trades against the tanks, but again, we're causing chaos. We're forcing ByuN to pull away. And that can create an opening for those swarm hosts. Yeah, big snipes going up. Catching hydras, catching lurkers. Here come the swarm hosts. They're coming. ByuN is racing over. He's racing over. He pre-unsieges the tanks to appreciate it. Tanks are unsieged. ByuN, he realizes how vulnerable he is. He pulls away. Then we collapse on the mineral line. We don't get another tank. Nice control here by ByuN. Trades well. Pushing forward, ByuN gaining ground. At the same time, Dark ignores the main army, and once again, going right through the center, towards the natural, towards the main base, and that's going to be the kill move to camp the production. That's a solid wall of tanks here. Again, we have control of the natural. Nidus Swarm does finish. I can't actually make use of the Nidus, unfortunately. As ByuN brings down the base, he's going to get another. The hatcheries are going down. ByuN brings down 2 bases. Local save comes in, catching more of these tanks. There's 5 tanks going down. ByuN does want to keep on pushing, but he is deep on creep, and Dark, he turns back around. ByuN has to back off. Does have to back off. Did take down 2 bases, but for the most part, we did not mine through them. Ooh, did mine through them. ByuN is still maintaining himself somewhat with this base. But throughout all this, we still have the swarm hosts, I believe. Yeah, we still have 18 swarm hosts. They're all in the Nidus Swarm. Still have so much to work with. Dark, he's going for the main army. We're going to be able to be in position though. Oh my god. The swarm host melted, or the locust wave melted. To evaporate. As ByuN is going to be securing himself towards the left hand side. He's going to be pushing forward. There are some resources to make use of here on the left-hand side, so we can try to take these bases, can try to expand. Instead, Dark, once again, he just ignores the main army, goes to the main base, goes for the production. GG gets called, and Dark will take a 2-0 lead in the grand finals. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, ByuN went for a very greedy economic start, if you remember, but did lead into ByuN's aggression being shut down, and instead we embraced a longer game. ByuN taking a 3rd, taking a 4th base, Dark likewise getting up to 6 bases, and then it became about denying the 5th. The game became about denying the 5th base over and over again, and Dark was able to do so for the most part, gained a lot of momentum. With that momentum, Dark went into mass swarm hosts, and over time was able to just outtrade ByuN, able to work through his bank and strip it all away. And now Dark needs one more. Uno más to win it all and become our back-to-back ESL Americas champion. One more is all he needs. We're loading into Site Delta. So, potentially the final game of the series. I'm hoping it isn't. I'm hoping we can get it back and forth. I'm hoping that ByuN can bring it back to Game 4, maybe even to Game 5. That'll be ideal. But the pressure is on ByuN. Pressure is on. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Side Delta, we have our South Korean Zerg player. The blue Zerg representing Talon Esports. Leading the series 2-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Down in this series, we're going to bounce back here and now to try to make a series out of this. It is ByuN. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. Hatch Gas Pool standard opener out of Dark. Meanwhile, ByuN opening up not 2-Rax Reaper. He has avoided it the entire series. Not a single 2-Rax Reaper here in this best of 5. I'm a little bit in shock, but also at the same time, I'm sure ByuN is aware that Dark is familiar and very well versed against it. So ByuN has been avoiding any 2-Rax Reaper shenanigans. Today, at least. Has been avoiding it today. Meanwhile, it is not a CC first. This time it's going to be a Rax Expand. More standard opener from both players. From both players. Ah, selling it. We'll be selling into our game. Ah, the Dark Cubby Pasta. You're all animals. I want Dark's big, hairy, sweaty arms to hold me so tight while he kisses his Valencia trophy like no tomorrow. I want him to call me my little Zergling. I'm gonna scream back Park Ryung-woo, as he holds me down and spanks my butt with his big, meaty hands. You're an animal. I feel like that needs to be updated because, I mean, he does have a Valencia trophy, but Dark is our most recent GSL champion. So now, has a GSL trophy as well. I mean, Dark has many trophies, to be fair. But true. You're an animal. As ByuN does push forward. Is going to be expecting the natural. Lings are keeping up though, and the Reaper shouldn't get much done. It looks like, oh, we're going to get one Ling. 2 Lings go down. Not bad. We catch 2 Lings, Dark taking his third here at the triangular third location. Meanwhile, ByuN going for a third CC before Starboard. Economic opener here out of ByuN. Is going to be an economic opener. So let's go. Whose emotes are those? Practice X. Oh, the why does Practice X have the mech icons, the mech emotes? What an animal, Bobby. The Cyclone, the Hellion, and the BC. Shaking my head. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, as Dark is finally embracing his more aggressive nature, we've seen a lot of late game so far in this series. We've seen a lot of longer, later games here from Dark, but now it's time to spice things up. We're throwing down a very fast Roach Warren behind the middle line. Dark is known for his Roach play, but he's been avoiding it. He's been denying who he is this entire series until now. Now the Roach aggression is going to be upon us, and so far unscattered. Now, what I will say is that ByuN did open up 3CC, but 3CC Banshee. Because of this, the Banshee opener is going to be ideal against these Roaches. We'll have them available to defend, to deflect the Roaches initially. But we'll see how committed Dark is going to be. We have our first wave of Roaches on the way. 2 more Overlords on the way. ByuN poking in. Not really able to break through. And that's additional Roaches, by the way. We're not stopping. We are not stopping Roach production. Ling speed is done, so we can reinforce with Lings. There it is. 14 Lings on the way. It's going to be an all-in. Dark is going for a massive all-in. His goal is to break down the third base. We have Hellions to defend. but ByuN has yet to really read what's going on. If he realizes, he should wall off. He should wall off, get bunkers, get Sim City. But alas, ByuN he sees nothing. The Roaches, they avoid the main scouting pattern. They avoid the center path. They skirt around the edge. Third base is on the way. Again, here come those Roaches. Meanwhile, back at home, Lings are amassing. Hellions are racing back home. Now we realize what's going on. Now we realize, and now we wall off. We do wall off just in time. The Roaches are getting caught out. But the bats around. More Roaches on the way. Here come the Lings, but the Hellions, they get behind the wall. Yeah, and ByuN defends. ByuN defends. Behind this Lings, they cannot engage, and we have to drone up. So this is a brutal start here for Dark. We spoke about it. Because ByuN opened up Banshee, he has the ideal units to shut down the Roaches. The Roaches do nothing. The Hellions make it back home, which means Lings do nothing. And ByuN will be able to expand and is in a good position. ByuN is in a very good position. These drones, these workers are late for Dark. Banshees move out. Spores are still on the way. Drones are falling left and right. Ooh, we're getting a lot of damage done. We're getting 5, 6, 7 drones, 8 drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. It was a risky move here by Dark, rushing into Roaches the way that he did, but alas, did not pay off. Not at all. As we get 11 drone kills. Dark is struggling. We're getting 12, 13. Can we get up to a mineral line? Mineral line worth of workers. We can see here that Dark is trying to make use of the Ravagers. Files, they will not bring it down. Lings coming in for the surround. They don't get it. They don't get the surround. Dark has to pull back, and he's still droning. He's still recovering from his earlier losses. He just lost how many? 13 drones, and now we have to replace them all. So ByuN is in a good position. I would say ByuN's ahead. ByuN is ahead here, getting his third base, getting fully saturated. ByuN has the economic lead. As ByuN moves out, Lings are coming in from behind, though. Very important here for Dark to get some counter damage. Very important. We'll catch some SCVs. 2 SCVs go down. Lings, they keep ByuN a little bit busy. He's focusing on his main push. And again, Dark is in trouble. Dark is in a lot of trouble. His all-in failed. His economy was crippled. And now ByuN is getting ready for the kill. Getting ready for the move out. Dark, on top of that, he's supply blocked. Ling run by, does no damage. Things are looking bleak here for Dark. We're getting on top of the base. The fourth base is going to be... Now we ignore the fourth. We just go for the army. Yeah, we go for the kill. Ravagers are going down. Queens as well. We have a clutch transfuse, but alas, the Queen falls regardless. With Ling reinforcements, we're going to be able to force this back. Nah, never mind. As Banshees, they do arrive to support the army as well. They catch another Ravager. We're going for the fourth base. And it's going to be killed, not cancelled. The hatchery does go down. And ByuN maintains his lead. Does maintain the lead here. Getting into a 4th CC. Building up the ByuN. Getting ready for our eventual move outs with Stim. 1-1 upgrades. 2-2 is halfway done, but we don't need to wait for 2-2. No need to wait here for ByuN. We can just move out. We deny the 4th, or I guess we deny the 5th, as we did double expand. Dark getting his 4th up. And what does Dark have to defend? No Ling Bane, just some Roach Ravager. Which means we can stim, and we can win, Papi. The man with gun, we can break through the initial defensive line. We get on top of the Ravagers as well. At the same time, Banshee's here, sorry, drop towards the natural. The 4th hatchery is going to go down, and there's no saving it. GG gets called, and ByuN will fight back, will survive the initial all-in, and will put a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. I appreciate that Dark did embrace something more aggressive here, which is what he's known for, but against ByuN did not work out. Now, it wasn't like ByuN was able to read his opponent and respond. ByuN had no idea what was coming his way, had no idea that Dark was going for an all-in, but ByuN happened to be going into Banshees, happened to be keeping them back at home, and he was able to spot the roaches in the middle of the map, able to race back, respond, and shut Dark down completely. Thankfully, ByuN had the tools to defend. It was all about the execution. And that means we have a back and forth. That means that ByuN has a chance to force the ace match, as we're loading into a much larger map, a much more macro map, Alkyone. Oh boy. A map known for its mid-game, known for its late game even. And I imagine that's what we're going to be embracing here. I'm sure Dark is tempted to go for another all-in. I'm sure Dark is tempted just because he has some wiggle room. But it may be wise to just calm things down and embrace a longer game. We'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talon Esports. Still one game away from becoming this week's champion. Back to back, it is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Fighting back, going finally for 2x Reaper. It is ByuN. ByuN has been avoiding the 2x Reaper the entire series, but finally here in Alkyone, he will be embracing it. Meanwhile, Dark is going Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener here out of Dark. Meanwhile, aggressive opener out of ByuN. And the purpose of this opener, the purpose of this build is going to be to get some economic damage done across the map, to delay the third base for as long as possible, to maybe even pick up some workers. Now, Dark has been known to be greedy against this, so I'm curious if Dark once again will hide the drone and sneak out a third. We'll keep an eye on how Dark responds once he realizes what's going on. We shall see. Keep an eye on Dark. When it comes to the follow-up, this should just be 2x Reaper into an expansion into a 3cc 2-1-1. That should be the case, but ByuN has a lot of deviations. He has a lot of variations of 2x Reaper with very different follow-ups, some more aggressive than others, some more greedy than others. So we'll keep an eye on ByuN. As for now, the Reapers are on the way. Reapers are on the way. Okay, it's going to be triple Reaper here into our add-ons. A very fast add-on switch here out of ByuN, which means he might go a double Reaper instead of 3, which I'm not too fond of, I'll be honest. We actually saw this, I think it was last night. It was either over the weekend or last night here out of ByuN. Yeah, the Reapers, they do get across the map. They're going to be able to dance with the Lings, but 2 Reapers won't be able to accomplish too much, and Dark, he gets away with a third. Yeah, Dark, he does confirm, of course, the lack of Reapers. So I do think that the purpose of this variation of ByuN, just going 2 Reaper, is to force an overreaction and contain the Zerg player. But Dark, he doesn't take the bait, he expands, and yeah, Dark, his third base is pretty well timed. It's going to be pretty well timed. To see ByuN shutting down the Overlord, we'll chase it back, and we'll shut it down. Nice supply block there on Dark. Behind this going 3cc. 3cc 2-1-1 out of ByuN. Again, the Reapers don't accomplish much, but this also means that we get into Marine production a lot faster as well. So there is a give and take. So the Marines are faster, the 3rd CC is slightly faster as well. Meanwhile, Dark has map control, and he does embrace his 3rd. After the early game, I would give the edge to Dark initially. I would give him the edge, but we'll see what ByuN can accomplish once his upgrades kick in, once he's moving out with his bio army. Well, not there yet, though. Still working on Stim. Still building up more Marines. Still building up more ByuN. As here we go, we are moving out. Stim is finishing up in a couple of seconds. And the ByuN is vying for map control as he moves out. Lings are moving in. The wall is open. Sorry, is solid. That's what I meant to say. The wall is a wall. So ByuN, he does defend, he pulls back, he does respect the Lings. Racing back home. And ByuN should be waiting for medevacs. Like, Stim is done, sure. Stim is finished, but we ideally want to wait for the add-on swap for the medevacs to have some sustain, to have some micro potential across the map. Until then, Dark is free to drone. Dark is free to drone up as heavily as he can. Getting up to 3 base saturation, eventually taking gases. Eva Chamber is done for +1 carapace. Dark getting away with as much greed as he can. And ByuN is just building up towards that push. Is still building up. Dark taking a 4th. We'll see if he can hold on to it as ByuN is about to move out. It's been a while. We do catch out one of the Reapers. We catch out both of them even. Not bad. Reapers go down. Medevacs are halfway done. And then we can finally be free. And as ByuN moves out with the medevacs, we should be able to expand and take the 3rd. The base should be on the horizon here for ByuN. There we go. There's the 3rd base. At the same time, ByuN moving out. He's spotted by the Lings, and Lings, they can dive on some of these reinforcing Marines. They delay mining at the 3rd base. Here comes the ByuN push. Queens are in position. The Lings are amassing. Baliness is on the way as well. Lair is almost done. And it looks like Dark does get here back home just in time. We do pick off a Queen. Not bad. A Queen and 2 drones. That 2nd Queen goes down. We're trying to focus on the medevacs. It looks like we get 1. We get 1 medevac, but this position is brutal. Oh my god, it's a meat grinder. So many Lings go down, and so do the Queens. GG gets called. A brutal position there as ByuN wedges himself behind the gas geyser, and he outrays the hell out of Dark. Oh my god. GG. That move out was not meant to end the game, by the way. Remember, ByuN was building up towards the 3rd base. He was working on further upgrades. That was not meant to kill, but that position was insane. And Dark lost everything. He lost every single Ling. He lost every single Queen. He was unable to stop ByuN from actually getting behind that mineral line and wedging himself in between the wall and that gas geyser. And with that, we have an ace match. With that, we have a game 5. It all ends here. It all ends on Amphion. And it's not the way that I wanted to get to the ace match, but we've made it. We made it to the ace match. You know, we had game 3 where Dark attempted an all-in that failed. Here in game 4, Dark was just caught with his pants down a little bit. Again, he had to stop the Terran army before it got into the mineral line, and he just wasn't able to. The Lings weren't quite ready in time. And, yeah, ByuN snowballing out of control. GG. GG. And that means, one way or another, this is the final game. The final game of the series and the final game of the tournament. It all ends here. It all ends now. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. He was up 2-0, he's still 1 game away, but being forced into the ace match, can he bring it back? And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion, fighting back from the brink of defeat. Now 1 game away from becoming our champion here. Momentum is on his side. It is ByuN. Momentum is real. go. We do see Dark going for a pull first. Okay, first big deviation. Pull first here out of Dark. We've seen this a lot on Amphion. The reason why we see a lot of pull first is for one reason, the Reaper Cliffs. The Reaper Cliffs here through the center. What this means is with a Rax Expand opener, this first Reaper of ByuN is going to be going through the center of the map, in a way, going right here through the middle of the map, and it's going to be avoiding the main attack path. And this means with this pull first, Lings, they're going to be moving and rotating on the right-hand side, and that means that the Reaper will not scout. The Reaper will not scout and will not intercept the Lings. Reaper will ideally be here at the natural by the time Dark hits the natural base of ByuN. So it's an interesting dynamic here as, yep, Lings are moving out on the right-hand side. They're going the regular or the long way around, and the Reaper should go through the center. So as the Reaper moves out, the Lings move in. And again, there is no scouting, not yet, until the Reaper does get on top of that hatchery. And behind this, Dark is playing gasless. So we're not being too far behind economically. We skip our gases, which means insanely fast third. Reaper does confirm, hatchery is late. He knows that it's a pull first. Ling's already here. And oh, can we get the Marine? The Marine! It's so close, it's so low. One more shot. And the Marine is going to go down. Massive pick off. Marine does fall. SCVs as well. We get 2 SCVs already. We get 2, about to be 3 SCV kills. Not quite. Oh, actually we do. 3 SCVs, we get 4. 4 SCVs go down. We don't quite delay the factory, but 4 worker kills a Marine, a delay on the CC, and we pull back the Reaper as well. This is an insane amount of damage. So much damage early on here. And across the map, remember, Dark playing gasless means much faster third base finishing up. Queen's already up and running as well. They're getting in position. And Dark is now taking his gas. Now, the gas is late. This means that Link speed is delayed. Link speed at any tech of choice. But that's well worth it here for Dark, compared to how much damage he dealt. As Dark now takes a worker lead. And ByuN is double expanding. ByuN going for the 3rd CC before the natural's even done. ByuN is trying to catch up. ByuN is looking to catch up here. Now the Overlord, because of its position, does confirm the 3rd CC, so Dark is fully aware of how greedy ByuN is being, or how economic his opener is going to be. I don't want to call this greedy, I just want to say economic here for ByuN. Meanwhile, Dark is still building up that gas, and I'm curious if we go into Link Speed or if we skip it. Curious if we embrace it or if we skip Link Speed instead. My eyes are on Dark. And we have our answer. We embrace it. Link speed is on the way. We're staying in gas as well to rush into lair tech, into evo chambers, into upgrades. Again, Dark, he sees a 3rd CC, so he knows that he can afford to be greedy, drone up, and focus on tech instead. Tech up. Doesn't have to make too much Ling Bane at all. This is the army. We have 6 Lings. 6 Lings is all we have. 6 Lings is all we need. As there's no real threat here to Dark. Is no threat to Dark. His Overlord was shut down. Clean up the Overlord. Dark finally breaking out of the supply block. Getting into more drones. Again, still just droning up. We now have access to the lair if we so chose to, or we could just go double evo chamber. There it is. Double evo chamber on the way for Dark. So Dark will delay his lair and he will delay bathing speed in favor of 1-1 upgrades. Now this 1-1 timing is going to be a little bit more delayed though, just because of the wonky start to the game. So he's going to be slightly behind 1-1 of ByuN, but only slightly. Going to be playing a bit of catch up. Playing a bit of catch up here. as ByuN is taking his third. Because we're loading into Amphion, this is another big feature that I should have mentioned, is this third base is very secure. Very secure third base. We have two ramps leading into it. We have rocks sealing off one side. We have minerals sealing off the other. It can be very difficult to actually apply pressure to this location and to this base. So, despite the openers, we could see a very long game here. This can lead into a very long game as we catch the Hellions. The Hellions are trapped. We lock them down. Dark is double expanding, getting a fourth and a fifth base at the same time. But ByuN is soon to move out. We have medevacs. We can be active on the map. Meanwhile, Dark embracing 1-1. Lair is on the way. Baling Nest. The Baling Nest and Lair are lined up in such a way where we can start up Baling speed immediately. Before we can talk about the Baling speed, here come the Marines. Now we're in position. We can try to save this, but no, we cannot. The base is denied. Nice cancel on the fifth. But that's why Dark double expanded, to make sure that at least one base gets up and running. And one will. The base does complete. Dark expanding on the right-hand side. Still spreading his creep as well, maintaining this creep spread. Knocking down rocks. Are being knocked down, and ByuN being active once again with these Marines. Does pull away. Oh, getting us around! Nice round here from Dark. Tank does siege. You can see that ByuN is reinforcing. He wants to break through. He wants to try to make sure the creep does not spread, not in this location, to allow ByuN to save his third and get into a fourth. Receding. Bane unable to engage. Roxar being knocked down. And Dark is getting ready for a Bane bust. Bold move. Bold move here out of Dark. He is getting ready for that Baling bust. Back at home, we do have some units to defend. But we're going to be okay. There's a tank on the high ground. Just the one tank for now. But we can still break through this. Yeah, we tank the tank shots. We knock down the wall of the Ling Bane. It floods on him. We get on top of the tank. Now we're going for the mineral line. We're going for the SCVs. And for the Marines as well. Ooh, massive connections. We do get the mineral line. 15 SCVs go down the tank. And with that Dark, he can back off. Done the damage he was hoping for. Ooh, as Lings even flood into the third. Oh my god, this is getting too much. 26 SCVs go down, and ByuN is going to keep on pushing. Meanwhile, we have plenty of Ling Bane to defend. Dark, he's ready for this. He cannot surround because of the rocks. Like, again, these rocks are brutal, and they were not shut down. Dark instead setting up another counterattack. Another run by while Dark defends back at home. It's going to be a tough hold for Dark. But he's essentially forcing it all in. Yeah, more SCV is going to be falling. We can try to fight the Marines head on as well. Yeah, going for the surround! We collapse in the army. We save some Marines, but not all of them. And ByuN is being pulled apart at the same time. We peel off towards the third TC. ByuN is all in. Dark has forced the all-in out of ByuN. We bring down the first tank. There's two tanks behind this. But Dark, he's holding. He's dancing well with this. He's holding on. Ooh, catches out the Marines. Massive connections. GG gets called as there's nothing going on back at home. And Dark will take the series 3-2, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. 2 weeks in a row. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Dark as he will claim the series. Again, it was a very intense back and forth. Very quick game 3. Game 3 and game 4. Very fast games where Dark failed an all-in, and likewise ByuN ended the game abruptly in game 4. Here in game 5, we had more of a back and forth, but on the one hand, we saw that ByuN was making use of the map to be able to push quite hard on the left-hand side of the map, but he did ignore and he did leave himself open and exposed at his natural. You know, he didn't quite leave enough to defend. He had the one tank and a handful of Marines. More importantly, he did not see the movement of Dark's army. He did not notice that Dark was setting up a massive counterattack, so ByuN was caught off guard. He was not prepared for that and was pulled apart as a result. ByuN was being hyper-aggressive, committing to his push, which meant that he was vulnerable back at home. And Dark, he broke into the natural, he broke into the third, he dealt so much damage, he dealt crippling amount of damage. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark, my condolences to ByuN. I do appreciate though that this went into the ace match. If you remember, last week Dark also defeated ByuN in the finals, but it was a 3-1. This time it's a 3-2. More of a back and forth. More of a back and forth. Went the distance, and with that, congratulations to Dark, and a shout out to ByuN as well. To make it to here to the finals was not easy. Not an easy road for ByuN whatsoever. So do appreciate his performance as well. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up our initial broadcast here for ESL Americas. GG. GG, well played. That is going to be wrapping up our initial broadcast. We will be having another cast later on in the evening. We're going to be going over some WTL replays, as we did only cast half of WTL on Sunday just because of some internet issues, some latency issues. It did affect our broadcast overall, which was a shame. Was a shame that the broadcast was negatively impacted. But we'll be catching up tonight. We'll be catching up on World Team League. Likewise, until then, how long do we have? 5 hours. We're going to be casting in 5 hours time WTL. Until then, I'm starving. I need to get some food, and then I'm going to pass the hell out. I barely slept last night. I was so tired. I barely slept, so I'm going to try and get a couple... I'm going to try and nap. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to sleep for a couple of hours, and then bam! We're going to be back 5 hours from now with WTL, with World Team League. Let's go. The StarCraft doesn't end. Doesn't. It should be a shorter broadcast because it's only one match. It's only Basilisk versus Team Vitality. So it shouldn't last too long. Should not last too long. And we're going to be back tomorrow with Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup is going to be tomorrow. And likewise, WTL the day after that as well. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the horizon. And yeah, if you enjoy the content, do consider checking us out. Do consider following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. If you want to be notified for when we go live. Otherwise... thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can support us on Patreon as well. You can support us on Patreon. You can subscribe on Twitch. You can subscribe and become a member on YouTube. You can donate if you wish as well. There are plenty of ways to support the channel monetarily. Otherwise, a follow is all we ask. A follow is enough. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. And we'll be back in 5 hours time after I eat. After I get some sleep. I'm very sleepy. But yeah, great events. Until then, thanks for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who. We'll find someone to send our love to. Let's quickly double check. We will find someone who's live right now. Who is streaming? There's a lot of people live actually. Okay, let's sift through. We have Lorenzo. Lorenzo is live. We have Neura's playing Baldur's Gates. Nina's playing Brood War. Do we have any StarCraft 2? Do we have any StarCraft 2 players? Who can we raid? It's Practice X. We did get a raid the other day from Practice X. Practice X Florencio. We'll send some love in their direction. Yeah. So with that, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys in 5 hours time for some World Team League action. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego.